Hey people, how's it going? Welcome to the Funhouse and thank you for joining me again for another movie reaction commentary. This time we're going to be jumping into episode 3 and 4 of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now in the previous episode we got some good production value and some good moments. The introduction of Darth Vader / Anakin was one of those moments. But that was about it. Now in episode 2, that's where we started to see some of the cracks. Things weren't making sense story-wise, but still it was possible. But in my opinion, this is it. If these 2 episodes don't take things further, I think it's a wrap for Star Wars. So when we look at it, they have the sequel trilogy, 2 TV shows, one about to enter the 3rd season, and now you're exploring one of the most iconic characters in that universe. If you can't make this work, then that's it. Star Wars will be a defunct product, a thing of the past, and it's actually sad that I'm watching that happen. Anyway, if you are getting any value here at the Funhouse, hit the like button and subscribe. So let's get into it and watch Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Master. Are you there, Master?
Does he actually show up? Does Liam Neeson actually show up?
Qui-Gon, give me strength.
He will pay for the Grand Inquisitor's
The Grand Inquisitor means nothing.
Very cool visuals happening right now.
Yes, my lord.
Prove yourself, and the position of Grand Inquisitor is yours.
The Force. What does it feel like?
Have you ever been afraid of the dark? How does it feel when you turn on the light?
I feel safe.
Yes, it feels like that.
That's a nice analogy.
We better get ready. We're on approach.
Again, those artificial life forms, I just really like the design and functionality of them. Everything really does have a purpose in Star Wars, and I am liking seeing the world as the Empire ruling over it.
It wasn't always like this here. There were fields and families, and then the Empire came in and ravaged it all.
But the Empire was supposed to be helping us.
Well, there are some, like your dad, who are trying to. Seems like a losing battle these days.
Ben?
The hell is that? That's interesting. Beautiful set right here. Beautiful location.
We should send out all remaining probes now.
You are not in charge here. I will get what I deserve. And so will you.
Okay, so it's interesting. It's interesting. These Inquisitors, they're always infighting. Be interested to see where that goes.
What are you doing?
Maybe they can give us a ride to the spaceport.
But it's not safe.
Transport late again?
As usual.
Well, hop in. Meet my new...
Thank you for that, Leia. You just put us in harm's way again.
Farmer from Toll.
You have any information about a Jedi?
I would know one if I saw one.
Just keep your eyes open. Report it if you see anything. Who are they?
A couple of strays. I thought you might want to check them out.
All right.
Step out of the vehicle. Initiate Protocol 23. Raise your head.
You know, if a character gets into trouble, the best scenario is when that character tried to avoid that trouble and they still get into trouble. But Leia actually led them into trouble.
I'm putting it down. Just... Come on.
Get down! Get down on the ground!
Come on. They'll have sent a transmission. We have to hurry. I'll take you the rest of the way.
Come on, this will take us out.
Ben? What is it?
Oh, he's here.
Go now.
He seems to know exactly where they are.
Keep running till you reach the port. A pilot will meet you there.
Okay.
What? Vader's using the one-handed technique. I think it's called Makashi. That's pretty cool.
Bring him to me.
Vader can get through that fire. He can put that out. Again, another strange thing happened there. Vader could force push that and put that fire out.
Are you the one I'm supposed to meet?
I'll take you from here.
I'm sorry, but Leia is causing problems.
Get the back to tank ready.
Right, so I don't know. It seems like there's some kind of parallel between him and Vader here. Okay, there it is.
The years have made you weak.
Okay, what's it? Some kind of force bond? If that's a thing.
You're still not healed. Your burns, your body, they just need time.
Where's Leia?
You can't keep me here. My father is Bail Organa. He's a senator. I am a princess of Alderaan.
That's cute. You have no rights here, princess. Obi-Wan is dead.
I mean, she is adorable. She's too defiant. There's a difference between being defiant and being strong, having to rise to the occasion. And she's a 10-year-old girl. The way she talks isn't quite right as well.
I had a wife once. I knew exactly what she was before we got married. We tried to hide it, and the Inquisitors found her anyway.
Is that the guy who plays... Is that the guy who plays Ice Cube in the film Straight Outta Compton? Well, it was Ice Cube's son, wasn't it?
No. It's a water moon. That's all we have.
Is Vader there?
We don't think so. Our intel shows he's still on the ship, but he's close.
Fortress Inquisitorius.
It's impenetrable, Wade.
How far down do you think it goes?
Okay, so another callback. This is another callback to storming the castle. So is this a storming the castle episode? You know, with the whole Death Star and the plan of attack to get the Death Star, to take the Death Star down.
I won't leave her there. I'll go on my own.
You can barely stand. You're not getting in there.
I'll go with him.
We intercepted a transmission on Balnab last year. Bunch of talk of a secret network.
See, she's too cool for a 10-year-old girl right now. I think they should have cast her a bit older.
I need to find out where they are, Leia. And I think you know.
What? She's 10.
I don't know anything about a path.
It just doesn't feel right.
Well, let's think a little bit harder, shall we?
Yeah, I'm really feeling the scope right here. Very nice setting.
No admittance without clearance.
I have Officer Class C.
Now.
And they've gone back with the British bad guy sort of actors and delivery. I like it.
This isn't your sector. I can't let you through.
And you are?
I am the lead security on this level.
Then I'm your commanding officer, and you will address me as Sir.
Yes, sir, of course.
Perhaps I should just inform the Grand Inquisitor of your insolence. I'm here with classified intelligence. Do you know what classified means?
Yes, sir.
Why am I wasting my breath on you?
Yes, sir, of course.
Report. It should be right ahead of you.
I'm in.
Do not tell me she's resisting.
Is this a stare contest?
What?
You're strong.
What? How does she... Bro, what? How can a 10-year-old girl with no Jedi training resist an Inquisitor? Oh, man.
Where is she?
Detention areas in a secure sector.
Secret droid.
Just cast her older. Cast her older, at least. You're making a 10-year-old girl having a stronger mind than a grown, trained force wielder.
I'll tell you where they are. I just don't want anyone to get hurt.
I give you my word.
I'll have to tell my father first. That's okay, right? You said we're all on the same side.
Nice try, princess. I hope you like pain.
I'll never tell you where they
Then
are.
it's time to make those tears real.
Nah, I'm not buying it. She's 10. I get being mature beyond your ears. I get being mature beyond your years, but that is a bit much.
You are gonna tell me what I want to know. This is your last chance, Leia. Say something!
I'll never tell you!
Then your choice is made.
No way, no way. She's 10. I keep saying that, but it's, oh my God.
Tala, I need a distraction.
Why, what's happened?
Just do it now.
I'm sorry, Leia, I really am. You did this to yourself.
I was told it cannot wait.
I understand that you're leading the hunt for the network they call the Path.
Just speak.
The network runs out of the Sertar sector.
Impressive.
That's cool. That's some cool visuals there.
Stand where you are.
You're alive. They told me you were dead.
Come with me. I'm gonna get you home.
It makes sense. Path would have people among us. Eyes. What does not make sense is how an old man and a little girl escaped an Imperial checkpoint on your planet. Unless they had help.
I will not have my integrity questioned.
Then admit you're a spy.
How? She just met her. I mean, I get the Force, but dang, she didn't even size her up or anything.
Get her out of here. I'll hold it.
Run!
I want the base shut down.
That's the worst disguise ever. What the hell was that?
A child and an old man. Was it worth it?
This was never who I was.
Right behind you.
Wait!
The way they move in the fight is a bit... It's not very athletic, the way they move, you know?
No longer.
I put a tracker on the ship.
It seems I have underestimated you.
But my lord, the base was almost destroyed.
Kenobi is all that matters.
There can be no mistakes. You're certain the tracker is with him.
Yes, my lord.
There's not much going on. I mean, that's another callback again, putting a tracker on a ship.
Guess you're soldiers now, after all.
Oh, that's the tracker. Okay, guys, and that was Obi-Wan Kenobi. Well, I think I can go ahead and call it and say Star Wars is pretty much done. Now let me remind you of my judgment of this. This is a giant corporation with unlimited resources and access to the world's finest talent. Now with that in mind, I asked the question, is this the best you can do? So in episode 3 we had Leia dragging Obi-Wan everywhere, getting into trouble for no reason. And what's Obi-Wan doing? He's letting the little girl take the lead? This is silly. Now there were some interesting creative choices. Like when Vader shows up, there's a few little creative things happening there. But there are also some goofy creative choices. So Vader was going through the town displaying his Force abilities. So why on earth didn't he put out the flames when the droid came to rescue Obi-Wan? He could have put out the flames, force crushed that droid, and carry on torturing Obi-Wan. But he just stood there. Now I know some people are going to make the excuse of, oh, he's just taunting them, but that wasn't the vibe I was getting. The lightsaber fight between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader, they made the effort to make it interesting. The choreography was actually quite sluggish. It felt staged and it lacked that emotional impact. Now some people will say the emotional impact wasn't there because George Lucas failed to do that in the prequels, and that is true, he didn't do it effectively. Well, if that's the case, don't build the entire show based on their relationship. Create a different set of stakes that can drive the story. The whole point of doing something like this is to add more depth to characters and their dynamics, or to take ideas and concepts even further. What you don't do is ride the coattails of previous successes, and then when things don't work out, you point to the shortcomings of what came before and blame that. Do your job and take those L's when things don't work. As for episode 4, it was the same old playbook. Rebels storm the castle. They have the scene where there's a plan of attack and then you see them carry out the attack. Well, not an attack, more like an infiltration. The fight choreography was a bit sluggish again. There were some interesting ideas, but the speed and the timing seemed a little bit off. That sense of athleticism, it just wasn't there. Also, the handling of the lightsabers was a bit sloppy. It didn't feel like they were familiar with the weapon, and so it just didn't feel as iconic. Samuel L. Jackson actually pointed this out about the sequel trilogy. He said they needed a bit more time in lightsaber school, something like that. A couple of years ago, I saw a documentary on Jimi Hendrix, and the person being interviewed said he always wore his guitar. The only time he didn't wear his guitar was when he went to bed. But they said when he woke up in the morning, the first thing he did was put on his guitar before he had a shower, before he made himself a cup of coffee. I'm gonna guess that's why he was so good. Now I think that's how an actor should treat a lightsaber when they play a Jedi. Yes, that's just my opinion, but the prop is so iconic and film is so visual. There's an intangible aspect to filmmaking. That non-verbal communication will translate. It will show if you don't have a connection to it. Then we had that goofy moment where they were walking through the hangar and Leia was underneath Obi-Wan's coat. That was really silly, and I don't know if they were playing it for laughs. Now there's always going to be those people who say, oh, Star Wars is for kids. No, Star Wars is not for kids. Star Wars is for a wide audience. So kids can watch it, but adults can watch it as well. So I don't want to hear that excuse. Then there was the bit where Leia resisted Reva. How can a 10-year-old with no Jedi training mentally resist a dark side Force wielder? What? It was also unbelievable that Leia, again a 10-year-old girl, she's 10 years old, would hold out against Reva under the threat of torture. So she's been kidnapped from her home, Obi-Wan rescued her, then she was kidnapped again, and now she's under the threat of torture, a 10-year-old. And why would Reva jump to the conclusion that this little girl has vital information on how to bring down a guerrilla faction? It makes no sense. I just think this could be much more believable if Leia was a little bit older, like I said, between 13 to 16 or 17. And then Reva herself is the same age, so it's a peer-to-peer threat. To me, that would have worked much better. So, I started this, so I'm going to finish it. But Star Wars, in my opinion, is now a thing of the past. It's now just content, and it will eventually just fade away. It might even end up being sold from company to company, who knows? Of course they won't admit their own shortcomings. They'll just say, well, it's a thing of the past, it's out of date, let's move on. The visuals are still fine, but that's not what makes great storytelling. The visuals are just one component. The story, the characters, and the concepts, that's what makes up the soul of a visual piece. And if you neglect that, you fail to make a connection with the audience. And the audience is what counts. Anyway, I hope I've contributed a valuable perspective on this, and stay tuned for more movie reaction commentaries. Feel free to drop any knowledge or insights you may have about this show in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.